Bioshock 1. Now, this game means a lot to a lot of people, and I've never really played a Bioshock game before, so I kind of wanted to experience it for the first time. So I started playing it recently, and I just made some notes of like some thoughts and stuff as I played through. So, firstly, what actually made me want to play this game was definitely what people were saying, because I have played Infinite before, which is the third game in the series, and I really enjoyed it. I know people hated it, and it got a lot of negative rep, and there was lots of drama. I'm not going to get into it, but I enjoyed it. As an outsider who's never played Bioshock, I really enjoy it. But now I understand the contrast in Bioshock 1 and Bioshock Infinite, and that doesn't take stuff away from Bioshock Infinite. I still think Bioshock Infinite is a great game, but the difference between them is crazy. I was not expecting it, and that's why it surprised me so much when going into this game. I couldn't believe that it was a horror game. I knew it was going to be like gore and killing people, and there's going to be scary people, but I didn't think it would actually be a scary game. And Rapture was just, it took me back. Even now, I mean, I know I played the remaster, but the remaster came out 10 years ago. Give or take about 10 years ago, the remaster came out. And it was just totally immersion and scary, horror, all of that. Like, as soon as you get into Rapture, it's like this just horrific place. You can see what it used to be like. You can see fragments of what this place used to be like. And it really makes me want to see what Rapture was like before the splicers got addicted to the Adam and all that. Like, the lore and stuff is so cool. I'm not going to go into the lore because I'm not that smart, but I just love the mystery behind it all. I mean, it's just like the amount of world building they do, and they don't tell you stuff. They don't go in your face and tell you stuff, explicitly, but they implicitly tell you things throughout the game. And if you pick up on those things, it really adds to the value of the game and what the game is. And one thing I definitely liked was how you never see, I believe his name's Jack, you never see his face and he never talks. So it's almost like you as a player become Jack. You embody him basically, because you know as much as he knows, and that's about it. You are literally him, he is you. You are both the same, because you know as much as he knows, and he knows as much as you know. It's not like you're coming into this universe where this guy's 28 and he's had a life that he's lived up until this point. You know nothing about it. You only know about from the game onwards. Jack, the character, knows as much as we do throughout the entirety of the game. Now, I did know the spoiler of the game, and it sucks, but when you've been on the internet for 15 odd years, you're gonna know this stuff, because this is like iconic gaming stuff. Like, if you've seen any top 5 plot twists, you're gonna know this game's on here. So that definitely took away from the game for me personally. It's not a negative, because it's like, it is what it is, but it definitely took away from the feel of the game, because I knew what was coming. Now, the twist, I didn't know completely. I knew that, the guy, I think his name is Adam, he isn't the main villain of the game. He is basically a sub-villain. The guy Atlas is the actual main villain, and he actually helps you throughout the entire game. It depends how you take it. I mean, you help him more than he helps you, I guess. But the whole twist is that Atlas is actually the main villain. He's been mind controlling you the whole time. The main character, Jack, actually ages significantly over a year, because he was born in like a test chamber or something. So interesting. And the way that, like, even during the game, I mean, I knew the spoiler, but where they say, like, would you kindly, and I'm like, why am I doing all this stuff? Like, why am I injecting myself with plasma? Like, I don't even know what plasma is. And my character is just injecting because I'm being told. The objective marker is telling me to go here, so I'm doing it. And that's what I love, is how much you are the character. You're just doing what you're told throughout the entire game. You're just going there, you're interacting with it, you're injecting yourself, you're going here, you're freeing this, you're doing that. And I love the fact that you are literally the embodiment of the character. And the way they have no face and no voice, you can really, it's like Master Chief. You can really become the character, because you're just blank. You're just a blanket. It's just a blank canvas, a blank blanket of stuff that you make your own kind of character, because there's so much room for you to become who you want to be. Like, for example, that brings me on to my next point, is you have the option to be evil in this game. If you want to kill all the little sisters, not kill them, sorry, basically kill them, but if you want to harvest all the little sisters, you can. And the game actually kind of tempts you, depending on your moral compass and how much you're swayed. The game actually says to you that if you don't harvest the little sisters, you're actually going to get less Adams. What Adams lets you do in the game is basically upgrade your plasmas, upgrade your abilities, your sub abilities. It basically upgrades your character. So basically, you're accepting, by saving the little sisters, you're accepting that you're going to be weaker than if you were to go through the evil route. Now, what the game doesn't actually tell you, and which I love, is if you decide to save all the little sisters like I did, you actually get pretty much the same amount of Adams as if you would have killed them. I found it online. Shout out to Bioshock Ninja on Reddit. I'm assuming he did the calculations. He might have found it, but he helped me find this. Okay, so I'm putting it on screen now. So if you save all the little sisters, you get 3,520 Adams. But if you harvest all the little sisters, you get 3,840. So what's that? That's not much. That's like 200. Maybe 300 at a push more. I'm not doing maths, but that's not much in terms of the game and upgrading. You might miss an upgrade, you might be a little bit worse off, but you're not going to be that worse off, because when playing the game, I actually found that I was like running out of things to buy with Adam that I actually wanted to buy. Obviously, I could buy stuff, but I was like running out of things that would actually benefit me. And in the end, I was just getting what I could get just to get what I could get. So yeah, because the little sisters leave little packets. That's the way it works out. Is you only get like 60 Adams per run with a little sister when you save them. When you save a certain amount, the little sisters come back and they actually drop a little package, a little present for you, and that contains 200 Adams, which is a lot of Adams just to get in a lump sum. So, you know, the game tells you that there's this big, are you sure? They give you this choice, and that's what I love as well, is they give weight to the choice. They don't just say you can save him or you can kill him. They say, and they you know, Atlas says you should kill them because obviously he's the bad guy, but he tries to manipulate you and says, listen, if you don't do this, you're going to be worse off. You're going to be weaker. And then the other lady, I've forgotten her name, but the lady who cares for all the little sisters says, can you save them? She doesn't tell you you're going to get extra Adams. She doesn't tell you that it's worth doing it. All she says is just out the goodness of your heart, can you save these little, you know, sisters? And that's what I love, is it gives weight to the choice. It's like, am I I can't say the word. Am I morally good and actually want to save these, you know, children? I mean, they're artificially made and they're not, like, technically they're not real children, but, you know, do I want to save these children, or do I want to kill them and get stronger, or harvest them and get stronger? And it really adds some weight to the decision, because it's not an easy one or the other. I mean, a lot of people, I believe, would go for the saving just because it's the nice thing to do, and a lot of people typically want a good ending, but they add weight to it and say you're going to miss out. And the thing I love is it's a false choice. And as bad as some people might think that is, they build it up like it is a choice you're going to be affected by. So in your brain, you're not thinking it's a false choice. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I need to actually pick the right option here, which really adds to the game. And I love that a lot. Now, talking about the little sisters, we got to talk about the big daddies. So they've actually got two versions. I did look on the wiki, and there are more versions on the other games. And listen, I'm totally down to do another video on the next game. I mean, this game was really good. It did take a lot of work, but this game was really enjoyable. And for a game that came out in 2007, I would recommend playing it, definitely. I mean, even if you know the spoilers, it is a solid game, 100%. So there's two versions of the big daddies. There's a Rosie, which I'm assuming is still a male, given the name Big Daddy, but I don't actually know. And they've got bouncers. So the Rosies is like a long-ranged gun, long-distance target. They're okay. They do a lot of damage, and there is elite versions for both of these characters. But the bouncers is like... The bouncer is like the pinnacle. Now, before I even played this game, I believe, to my knowledge, excluding DLC, there's no Big Daddies in Infinite. to my knowledge. I think there might be variations of what a Big Daddy would be, but I don't think there's any Big Daddies in Infinite. But what I believed was that the bouncer variation was the Big Daddy, and that was it. But obviously, there's two variations, so everyone knows what is called the bouncer. I'll put it on screen. I'll show you some footage and stuff. But the bouncers are crazy. They run your ass down. You better be running if you see them. You want to put something in between you and them, because they will absolutely charge you. And it was really fun. I loved fighting both of them. And again, the horror aspect. When you hear their footsteps, you can hear them from a distance. Their groans, their deep, deep sea voice.
Great inversion. Ancient lie which has been changed humanity to an endless cycle of mutant and pain.
You can just hear it across the map, and it's like, you know it's coming, and you're like, at the beginning I was very scared, and near late game as well I was also scared. I'll get into that point later, but early game, when I was inexperienced, it was so scary, like dealing with Big Daddies, because like I wanted to save all the little sisters. I wanted to make sure I got all of them, so I got the best ending I could and get the achievement. So I wanted to save them all, so I had to fight every single Big Daddy I saw pretty much. And yeah, both variations are scary. What I would recommend, and my kind of like the way I ran it, just sit in between something, have a barrel, not like a small barrel obviously, but like one of those big pieces of the wall that's falling down, or have, I don't know, something in between you and them, because if you don't, you're absolutely going to get destroyed. And they were difficult at the beginning and at the end of the game. They did get easier in the middle, because like you have all like the ammo types and all that, which are great, but they definitely help you against those types of enemies. Now, I just wanted to go into a few negatives. Before I start with my negatives, though, I want to just reiterate, this game is phenomenal, and I loved it. But no game is perfect, so I wanted to bring up these negatives. And they're not, I wouldn't say they're bad negatives, they're just my negatives. So if you don't agree, let me know in the comments what you think. So my negatives are, firstly, there is quite a few fetch quests. I know it was that time of period where there were a lot of games with fetch quests and go here, grab this, come back. I think there's about 3 big sections, like quite big sections, that took me like at least 30 minutes plus to be able to do in this game, and they do drag for me personally. Now, I completely appreciate the game is an old game. This was kind of the time and the period where these kind of missions came about, and not necessarily started existing, but just existed. But you'd get to an area, it'd be this lovely area, and then you have to backtrack, and you have to find stuff, and you have to pick stuff up, and you're looting stuff, and you're I don't know. It just, for me, it wasn't great. I did struggle on one of the sections trying to find an item. I could see it. It was in that office. I'll throw up an image of me trying to get it. But there's a little switch they have to do to get it. It took me a long time. And for me, it's not necessarily bad, but for me personally, it kind of halts me from wanting to replay the game, because I know those sections are going to come up. And it definitely makes it hard for me to want to replay this. As much as I did love it, it's like, I don't think I can do those things again. I just really don't. So my next point is the end game difficulty ramped up like crazy. So I played on just like the standard normal difficulty. So not the easy, but not the hard or the hardest. I played on the second one, I believe. And that difficulty was easy at first, at the beginning, because I do play lots of games like Call of Duty and shooters. I've been playing since like 2010. So I've been playing loads. But the end of the game, it wasn't so hard that I couldn't do it, but it was just a struggle to like play through it, because I had no ammo and all the enemies were like so resistant to all of my stuff. Now, I might have not been playing the game properly. I would agree, you know, I was not taking many photos, and for those who don't know, photos allow you to get exploits on enemies. So they'll say, oh, you do 20% more, I don't know if it's 20% more damage, but they say bonus damage if you use this weapon, and whatever else. I don't know exactly how it works, but it gives you buffs, and it it makes it easier. But I didn't really do that much, which, I do regret, but also the game was really hard at the end. It was really hard. And the damage I did was not much. And then when I got ammo, I was running through it because I just did not have enough ammo. But it wasn't so hard to the point where I couldn't complete the game. It was just hard enough to where I kind of stopped being as enjoyable of the game as I thought. So my final negative point is at the very end of the game, you have to basically get a little sister to help you through the door. The very end of the game, you have to dress up as a big daddy, which is so cool. I loved that. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a big daddy. This is going to be insane. Like, these things I've been fighting that are like big ass tanks. I'm going to become one of them. And I thought that was so cool. But I did struggle a little bit because I was trying to look for the final little sister, but I was also doing other stuff. I was trying to get the other equipment and stuff. It was kind of like fetch questy, but that's not the problem. The problem is you get this like fisheye lens of like, I don't know, like 2000 skateboarder lens, basically. If you know, you know. If you don't, it is what it is. Look it up. You got some sick skateboard videos with that filter on, that lens, sorry. But for me, it took me 30 minutes from getting the helmet. It was a rosy helmet, I believe. The game goes fish lens, and you've got like a 40 field of view, like maybe a 45 field of view, and you can't see anything. And it's so blurry, and it's so just hurt my eyes. And that really made me struggle to play that that final 30 minutes. Because when you finish that, you pretty much do the final boss fight. But I would say that is definitely a period of the times, but that was a big struggle for me. So just to round this off, this game had such a unique ending, personally. I thought the ending was so good. Now, you finish the game by killing Atlas, the little sisters help you, and I got the good ending, so I'll explain the good ending first. So, you basically... the little sisters trust you now and they like you, so they offer you the key to the city. So this will give you power over all the splicers, all the Adam, which is power, you'll get everything in the city basically. But your character, being the good guy he is, takes the little sister's hands and he takes them to the surface. And what I love about this ending is, again, they don't show his face, they don't do his voice. So you're literally feeling like the character. You're in his shoes. And you see the little sisters grow up. And you see the little sisters get a family and be happy and get their graduation and live their life. And it's so fulfilling and it's so joyful that, yes, you were brainwashed and you have no family and you're like a test subject. But you took the little sisters out of captivity and you gave them a life. And the way the game ends is it shows your character's hand in hospital. So you're an old man, you've lived your life. We can only assume you've lived a good life, you've lived a fulfilled life. And you're laying there, and then you just see the little sisters, they're like grown women now, they're probably like in their 30s, in their 40s. And you just see these little sisters reach their hand out and hold Jack's hand. And it was just so heartwarming for me personally. And I'm not trying to get emotional about it, and I ain't trying to make it a big deal because I ain't like that. But it was just so nice as a rounded ending. Didn't have to be much dialogue. It was just so, for me, I just thought it was, honestly, I don't want to say this because I have just played this game, but it was honestly one of the best endings I think I've seen on a game. It was just so fulfilling, so well rounded off, and just brilliant. And I absolutely love that about this game, is the ending was so good. And that actually makes me wonder what Bioshock 2 is going to be like, because I've not played Bioshock 2. I've not even seen much about Bioshock 2. And it's like, now what? You know what I mean? You have that such a nice rounded end. Obviously, they didn't know they were going to make more. It was probably a game that they thought, we'll see if it does well. You know what I mean? But it was like such a well-rounded ending. How do they make a follow-up? You know what I mean? In Rapture about a game like that. I have no idea. And that's what I'm really interested to see about the next game. Now, there is a second ending. As I said, you can choose to be good. You can choose to be bad. Which, obviously, I love, is great. I love the choice and the consequences it gives you. So the bad ending is you do the complete opposite. You take the little sisters, I'm assuming you harvest them for Adam so you get more power like Atlas did, and you take the key to the city. So now you've got the key to the city, you control everything. So the first thing you do is you send splicers up from Rapture to Topside, and there just happens to be like what I can only assume is like army men up the top, and they get jumped by these slicers, and then all the camera does is pan across the submarine that they're standing on, and it just stops. Smoke clears, it's a nuke warhead. How insane of an ending is that? Again, what a phenomenal way to end a game. It doesn't have to tell you. It doesn't have to be, as I said, explicit or implicit. I don't know how to say the words, but it doesn't have to tell you. All it does is just show you, look, this is the doom and gloom that's going to come. But it doesn't have to do any more than that. And I love that. As much as I don't do villain stuff, and I don't think that ending's as good as the other ending. It is still amazing to see how tense it makes you feel just watching it. Like, oh my goodness, not only have we released Rapture onto the Earth, we've also got access to a devastating bomb that we can use at any time we want. So all we can assume from that ending is that we take over the world, or we at least cause havoc on the world. And that is just like, wow. Like, if you were going to do an evil ending, that's an evil ending. So anyway, sorry for rambling, but that's just my thoughts of Bioshock after my first playthrough. And wow, what a phenomenal game. I would recommend it. It is hard to play it if you already know the spoilers and stuff, but wow, give it a try or watch a playthrough. What a game. I can't believe it.
That's mine.